ahead.
Somebody having issues. Mark,
Which
Are
mark?
we on?
you're live.
Hey, everybody. I didn't know we were live.
We were saying we're going live. But go ahead, sir.
Intros. How y'all doing this evening on our Thursday night? Gamer Show News. Starting from top to the bottom. Jazzy Moto, First Lady Xbox. I always say that. Say hi, Jazz.
Hello, everybody. What's up?
We have Mega Elixir. How you doing, Mega?
Yo.
Now we got to get the ghetto. But go ahead.
Yo, the cool kid. Of course, me, Double, the OG. And Sir Rich. How you doing, Sir Rich?
Hello. Chilling. Feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
How
With
are
that
you?
guy, with that God of War. Mm-hmm. I'm jealous.
Who's jealous? Why does everyone keep being all jelly?
And the one. How you doing, one?
I am doing great. How are you all? And how are you, Lady Jazz? Everyone's doing well, I hope.
Yeah.
And all of you getting ready for your holiday because tomorrow's Veterans Day. So I guess a lot of you are having a good time and relaxing and getting ready to party because you don't work tomorrow.
Yes,
That's the
indeed.
case.
Man.
Somebody's gonna be gaming all day tomorrow, aren't they?
Y'all.
And
After I get an
and also my first Twitch stream appearance. Be on the lookout for that.
Dun.
And
But
if they're going to be on the lookout, what name will they be looking for? Mega Elixir? Is that still available?
Yep, Mega Elixir. I say just go to twitch.tv/Mega Elixir. Is it? That's how Twitch links usually work.
Well, you
Yeah,
can
I
just
gotta
do a
make you a
search for the
card.
name.
Next podcast will have you a stream card.
Cool.
You don't have one for me.
Oh yeah, we'll have one for you
I'm
too.
hating. Yeah, I'm hating.
Mark, when you gonna start streaming? What's up, OG? What's up, OG?
Like, where mine at?
Yeah, where mine? Everybody else getting special treatment. I need some special treatment too. How about that? Everybody
I
else
hook you
getting
up.
cards.
Everybody
Y'all,
get something.
you get a card. You get a card. You get a card. So hey, you get that Oprah effect. Oh, so hopefully everyone's had a good week. Let's get around to seeing what you guys have been playing. Let's start out with you, Lady Jazz. We'll save Surge for last. That's for a special reason.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, I know.
But I have been playing Call of Duty. It's
Yes,
not
I saw
terrible.
you guys on that.
It's different.
And how?
It's different. It's
So-
Yeah,
very
you guys were
different.
playing that a lot.
I don't like the leveling system.
Yeah, I don't
The
like that
gun.
either. With the
I-
guns.
With the gun system, so you gotta
I
use
don't-
this gun to
Yeah.
level this
Yeah.
gun, and I don't like this gun, but I gotta use it because I want the scope in this gun. So yeah, sure.
But yeah,
But if you're not,
I'm
but if you're
liking
not
it. It's
good,
just
if you're not good with said gun, and you got to get used to said guns, those people who have played ahead of you already ranked up, and so you're getting murdered, so to speak.
Yep.
And
They be running around with them dang on riot shields, and you trying to use a
Yeah.
marksman rifle. They're like, nah, bro.
I fixed one of them. I shot him with a machine gun. I'm like, okay, come with that riot shield. I got plans.
Drill mine. Works wonders.
But what else were you playing, Lady Jazz? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, I need to get back into that. What else have I been playing? I touched PUBG briefly. Honestly, it's mostly been Call of Duty. I just had a really, really busy week. But that's what it is.
You understand? What about you, Mega?
Now, funnily enough, surprisingly, the only game that I sat out and play like this week was Persona 4 Golden. But throughout the week I was pretty much like talking to my friends through Discord, hanging out, and I was studying and learning how to use OBS and Twitch streaming.
Oh, that's
And
good.
yeah,
So you was getting educated in certain areas while not playing. Interesting.
pretty much.
What about you,
So,
OG? OG, what about
education.
you?
Actually, I really ain't got a chance to play too much this week, but I was tinkering with the PC a little bit. I wanted to play a little Need for Speed on the PC. Need for Speed Rivals to be exact. I love that game. And Crisis Remastered. That's about it for me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What have I been playing? Call of Duty, trying to level up, but I'm stubborn. I get to certain guns, and if I like that gun, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna go through trying to level up all these different guns because that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to have fun, and if it takes the fun factor out of a game, if the game feels like a chore, I won't play it. If I
Agreed.
want a chore, we have careers. That's our chores. So our careers are where we dedicate ourselves to. Games are for fun, and I'm not going to deviate from that. So I was playing that, and then I was playing Surge, favorite game he hates. I played another season of The Walking Dead.
I don't hate it. I just say it's not for me. You keep trying to push it on me.
It is pushing. I just said hate.
You was like, you should play it. You should try it. You should play it. You should try it.
Well, that's why I changed the narrative this time to say instead of you should play, you hate it. So we good with that. So
It ain't
no,
hate. It's just I don't want it to burn into rubble or nothing. I'm glad people enjoy it. Just not for me. Hate is such a strong.
okay, you can play with words. I'm gonna say dislike. How about that? Because
No, they
dislike.
ain't play with words. I'm just saying hate is hate. Hate is heavy. It's
Oh,
heavy. It comes with a lot of responsibility. Heavy.
when I say hate in a gaming vernacular, it's not the true hate. When you say you hate somebody or want hate to happen to somebody, or things of that nature.
I'm just saying you can be misheard or misinterpreted saying such
That,
things.
that's why I clarified. Clarity is good. So what have you been playing, sir? What have you been playing? So you can talk about this game you've been playing in 1080p on your PS4. 1080p on your PS4.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I play everything at 720 or 1080p. It's probably not even 1080p. It's probably 720. But yeah, I've been playing Call of Duty. Of course, God of War.
Yeah, I saw you playing Call of Duty with Jazz.
I need to get back to the campaign, and we need to get together and do some co-ops because
Yeah, that's
Agreed.
good.
yeah, kind of it's a weird. I don't like how they did the system on Call of Duty at all, like with
I
the
don't.
guns and stuff.
Like I
I
said,
found out invasion and big team battle are the best ways to do that because you get points for a lot of stuff. But still,
well, I think I said to you guys last week about Call of Duty. I was playing it and I was playing Big Team Battle. And I'm hopping in Big Team Battle. When I hop in the game, I'm ready to play. Meaning I'm giving it all my dedication and I'm trying to win. These guys, and one guy respectfully said, he said, I appreciate you trying to win, but all I'm trying to do is level up. He's like, I just want to kill
yeah,
people. And I'm like,
yeah,
I totally appreciated his honesty, and I'm like, I can understand that. He said, but yeah, most people on here are not trying to play the game. If you're not trying to play the game, that's my whole point where the game is going to
that
lose.
breaks. That's a
And that
system breaking game.
exactly.
Breaking game. Because then no one's in there having fun trying to do the strategies. We just in there leveling up because it's the easiest way to level up because you got all the little minions running around and you can shoot
And
those and level.
yeah, and it's a chore, and it becomes a chore. And then you're like, okay, do I really want to play this game? And that's almost well, let me
Yeah.
rephrase it. Do I really want to play the online? And I think, and that's going to be a detriment in the long run if they don't try to have a fix to this over the within the next 2 or 3 weeks, because people are going to start complaining about it. Everybody does not want to do that, and I don't. My biggest problems with Call of Duty And I want you guys to think about this and tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I usually buy Call of Duty every year. Um, the fluidity of the game usually is the same, meaning it plays the same, right? Most time.
But this one doesn't really.
Right. Well, wait a minute. Let me get to my point out. Uh, the fluidity of the game is usually the same. It's quick. It's fast paced. Unlike Battlefield. However, the problem I have with this is that why is it that every year the UI changes, how you level up changes, how the skill tree changes?
Yep.
That is, I don't get it. If you just let it be, let it be. You have every new game, you have to relearn the UI. And I hate that. That's my biggest complaint. If I'm about a game, I'm about a game. It looks good. It looks good. Stay similar to what you're doing. I shouldn't have to relearn what you have learned.
Well, they do it on purpose. Jeez.
Because they're
You
trying to
saying
make a
cheese?
new
Not
game,
to
new
the
experience.
level,
It's just,
because it's like instead of skill, they making you grind, and then the people
Right,
who are willing to grind have all the stuff,
right.
and it's no,
people with
they
all the
don't have no
time to
ranking system
grind.
starting off. They don't have no ranking system starting off.
And
They
they don't
more
even
worried about the grind on the guns and all this stuff than
right.
actually the system of how to pair players together in a sensible manner. It's
Man,
like it's all backwards, and the system is broken. It is
it,
very broken.
yes. And then your
Well,
KDR.
every year it's a
No,
new player.
no. Yeah, it's a new layer. But let me explain this to you. This is the only year that, in the very beginning, when you started the game, it may take you 5 to 6, 7, 8 levels. When you rank up to 8 to 10, you good. Then you're able to start getting your weapon. You can level up your weapons. Now I'm like level 44, and guess what? I don't have all the weapons that I need, and my KDR sucks. And my KDR is always above 1.5, 1.8, somewhere around. I think I'm like the old one is 1.5, 1.6. Now I can tell you I'm not even at one because of all the leveling up and the grinding that you must do. I didn't want to do that, but I'm glad we are discussing where we're playing. So let's move to our next topic of have you
I'm
guys
done
played?
with War
Oh,
though.
excuse me. You didn't even talk about your favorite game. My apologies.
That God of War it's amazing. I like the way they did it feels good. The feeling of it it's good. The way they upgraded the move system and the story and all that stuff. But I do see what you're talking about because the clipping and the stuff that doesn't sync is generally the graphics. The graphics can't keep up. They will definitely downplay the graphics to keep up with the performance of the game. So, and that's why I believe they did a lot of the motion controls the way they did, because the blurring effect on that, you don't really notice it. But it does feel like a PS4 game. It does. It just feels like a sequel to the first one. Just like
Don't,
every
don't.
other God of War. It feels like you start off weak. It's a reason why you start off weak. And you gotta regain who you need to be to defeat whatever journey you going on. So it stays true to the essence of the science of God of War. That's all I'm saying. I ain't want to say nothing really because I ain't trying to ruin it for nobody.
Right. Well, my point is that I think that I haven't played it yet. I've seen some of the videos. I care less about looking at the videos and people playing at this point. I'm gonna play it when I play it. I'll get to it next year because I
Especially
want
if you feel like playing it. But a lot of people that watch it don't have a PlayStation. So
exactly. They don't. A lot of people are just watching it because I told someone, yeah, well, if you're playing it, get you some napkins and have you some popcorn because you're gonna be watching the movies as the cutscenes. They said it's 3 hours or 7 hours worth of cutscenes.
Dang.
that's how
That's a
how many
saga.
was it in the last one? It was like
Yeah.
6 hours in the last one. Like it's
That's
a lot of
crazy.
cutscenes, but it's like it's a lot of movie, but the movie you so enthralled in it, and
So
they
you're
cut it
saying
up. They cut
so
it up to where it's
for lack
good.
of
You know
for lack of a better saying, is that you're saying it's the movies are immersive that you feel like you're a part of. It doesn't
exactly.
take
Like
you
they'll
out.
have you controlling something, or
Right,
you can
right.
go around and look around, and
It,
a
it
lot of
doesn't
it's
it doesn't
interactive.
it doesn't take you out the game.
No, no,
That's for
not at
sure.
all.
So I
Not at
think
all.
that's what I think is good because that's people don't realize that's one of Sony's uh, good points
Wrong suits.
because that's exactly that's their strong suit based off the mere fact that they are a movie studio. Don't forget that. That's their
Hmm.
pedigree. So they know how to make movies, and that immersion is there.
Yeah.
And can't take that away from 'em. But
And the
that
voice
being,
acting. Oh, the voice acting is magnificent.
but don't get me started. Now, I'll hold that voice acting. Hold that thought until the end when we start talking about Final Fantasy. Hold that thought about voice
Oh
acting.
boy, here we go.
Yes, hold that thought.
Wow.
So, glad you're playing God of War. I know it's a
Yeah,
good
I'm
game.
glad it works well on the PS4. So
I'll get to it on my PS5 when I actually buy it.
yeah, I
I may
want to get
wait.
it when I get a Slim. That's gonna be the replay.
So it'll probably be
Definitely.
probably be an April or May game for me. I'm not too much in
Mhm.
a hurry.
No,
I
you
got
got too much on your plate.
I got so much on my plate, so I'm not worried about it. And when I get to it, I'll get to it. And I don't want all these people telling me yada yada yada. But looks like a good game, and I'm still
Hmm.
going to. For those of you that are on Twitter, you saw all the Twitter rage, right?
No,
Oh, you
what Twitter
haven't seen.
rage?
Oh, it's the greatest game ever. It should have been a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful game. It's this, that, and the other. You guys, I know you've heard that, right?
No, I haven't really been on Twitter.
No.
That's weird.
Okay then. What about you, lady?
No.
You haven't either. What about you, Double?
Of course, it's so many ponies.
But my point, I'm going right back. That being said, by the end of January, I want 10 million. I'm going to say by the middle of by Christmas, I want 10 million sold.
It ain't gonna happen.
You're not gonna give me my 10 million.
How?
Well, as much as you have people out there saying it's the greatest thing ever, XYZ, everybody's gonna buy it. Then you have 100
Oh,
million.
how IGN? How Sway? IGN reported on November 1st it sold 19.5 million copies as of
What?
October 2021.
No, I'm talking about that one game. I'm talking about this game. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
Ragnarok.
Ragnar.
That's what it says right here.
It said they sold 19 million already.
I don't understand how in November 1st, when the game just came out, like they
Oh,
talking about pre-sales, get out of
Wait,
here.
I
Get
didn't
out of here. I'm like,
I didn't
IGN,
see
come on,
that.
how
I
you
don't.
get this number?
I
How
didn't
you
see
get
that.
this number, IGN?
You
Seriously.
know why I know that's not
Pre-orders.
true? I
Oh,
know
the
I know
Bloomberg says 23 million copies one day ago.
sold or
Ragnarok?
It went
I don't
on to sell 23 million copies on PlayStation and PC one day ago. Bloomberg.com.
no. Read that again because you're reading it wrong. That's the regular Ragnarok.
I
You
don't
said regular. Oh, what? What do you mean
That's
regular Ragnarok?
you're talking about God of War overall. I'm talking about Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok. That's what I'm saying.
No, it couldn't because it's not
It
on
says
PC.
Sony's God of War Ragnarok is set to jumpstart slow year for it says. I'm just reading the.
Huh?
It's a
Receive. You said set to start. Say it
yeah.
again.
I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna put it in Discord here.
Yeah, because I need to see
Because
what
this
you.
is this is confusing. This is reading like that dang Sega article.
Yeah, see, somebody's trying to.
wait, I'm
Hey, that
sorry. Are
gets
you referencing the Sega Super game thing?
Yeah. This is definitely reading like that Sega article. Like, yeah, they're all projecting too much in this article. Y'all are projecting too dang on much. But
No, they're
everything
not.
I'm saying, everything on all these lists I'm seeing is saying 19.5 million though.
That's
All right, here we
overall.
go.
They're talking about God of War the original. They're not talking
How
about
can that?
God.
Why are they pairing that to? See, they doing that trickery. That's
No, they
weird. That's weird. Because I was like, how they already got these numbers on this? So they saying this. So they gonna do this. They gonna try and cloak it on the
right,
success of God of War.
right. They are not. Okay, so
like, ain't no way.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the October 30th article and all this other stuff. But they talk. I'm thinking
right.
they talking about they pre-sales. I'm like, they not. It ain't no way they possibly can have any numbers till like what? Maybe January.
Let me tell you this right now, and let's put this out there. Call of Duty sold 1 billion on 3 consoles, right? In 10
Yeah.
days. If
Damn.
Sony beat that, they would have already said that today because they would have wanted the stock market to their shareholders to be excited about what that accomplishment was. You get my point?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that as far as I can spat. And
Man, they just talking about the future projections due to the pre-sales.
yeah, that link is
That's hype.
behind Bloomberg is behind a paywall. It's not gonna let you see it.
Nope. I was just talking about the article title
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that fun stuff.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
mad they did that because they used to give you like 10 articles a day or something like that.
everybody want money. Everyone.
Yeah, they used to let you
every
read a few
day.
articles, but now they like, nah, off top.
You cut
Yeah.
off.
The New York Times used to do that as well, but hey, if you don't let
Wait
me
a minute.
read,
They already submitted it for Game of the Year.
of course it's
Already.
Jeff
Yeah,
Keighley. You know
God of
Jeff.
War always goes in there.
No, but see, what you call it didn't. They said it stops in October. Remember last year
Mm,
when they were talking about Forza? Oh, it can't
that's
wait.
true. That's true. That's
They
true. They
didn't
blocked
submit
it out.
Forza.
That is true.
Yeah,
They
see,
wouldn't
that's
allow Forza in there. They said,
exactly.
nah, they blocked it. They was like, nah, you can't do that. It was a deadline. Deadline's up for a reason. They went on a whole tirade about that,
That's
talking
why I
about
say
Forza.
I don't like IGN. I don't like. Definitely don't like. I don't like. I don't know him. I don't like his show. Jeff Keighley. I think his show is fake. I don't see any. Uh, what's the word I'm looking? I don't see him as being genuine in anything he does. He seems to be connected only to promote himself and Sony. I don't see him as being objective in anything he does. He's fake objective, in my opinion, but I don't see him as being truly objective. So, but anyway, enough of God of War. We'll see. We'll get around to it. Double, you getting it?
Yeah, eventually I'm getting it.
Yeah, I'll get it when I get it. I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
So, what do you
And-
guys? Go ahead. Go ahead, Serge.
Oh, I was saying the PS4 version was only 60.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
that is
okay.
true. That is true.
I
Bonus.
have to get it because, according to Serge, I gotta get it or I'm a spoiled. I gotta read something about it or something.
You have a habit of reading stuff.
gotta
He
play
cannot hide himself because he be too interested in lore. So he go on investigation things and then he be like, "Oh, I just seen something I wasn't supposed to see," and he ruined it for himself. He do this with everything, with comics, with movies, with games. He do this. That's what he do to himself. I don't understand why he tortures himself like this.
So I gotta buy it.
Well,
Because you was telling me about fight mechanics that I had to learn by playing the game, like what, 2 months ago?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh, back in September. Yep.
So, yeah.
well, we'll see how God of War do. We'll see that if it does really, really well. I expect Sony to have something to say next week about the game, 100%. So, what did you guys think about? Let's move on to our next topic of the Halo Winter Update. What did you think about it? It has co-op mode. It has what is that? What is that called? Where you build your own?
Oh, the destruction, making y'all levels and stuff.
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
it
the
called?
Isn't
the
it called
forge.
Forge?
Isn't it like forge?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all said it at the same time.
Forge, forge, forge.
Like, Forge.
Are any of you guys playing it outside of me?
No,
You
Not
guys
yet.
investigated?
I
wish
added
I
to the
would, but I'm
list.
still on
I
my
need
journey.
I need to upgrade on my dang on memory. I need that memory card. They talk
Oh,
about
you
$30 off. I need a memory card. I got
Wait,
an
say
S.
what? Oh, the external thing? $30 off?
No, the internal thing.
Oh,
Extra 512 megabytes.
oh,
I think
okay.
it was on sale for $30 off or something like that. They starting with the sales on it now.
Okay.
I just saw an advertisement for it. But I would
How many
like to
games
play it. I
you
just
have?
don't have no room on my drive. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
gonna do
Like all the stuff
MOBA.
I'm playing currently.
How
I
many
need.
games you got right now on it?
I got that Cyberpunk. I need to finish the Call of Duty
I need
campaign because Call of Duty actually did it the right way. to where when you finish the campaign, you can just delete it off your system and
Yes,
keep
you
the
can
other
delete it.
sections of
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It was like that with
that's
the
a very
last one too. I'm glad they, still a
yeah.
thing.
So I gotta. That's why I was like, we need to do the co-op. So when we get done with it, we can just delete it off and then just keep the multiplayer. Mm-mm-mm.
so
But
I
yeah,
played.
I want to play Halo. How was?
I mean, it's still Halo. I mean, I played a couple of the online multiplayer matches. It's still Halo. It's still crisp. There's nothing you can say about Halo as far as the crispness of the game.
It's
Still
always
crisp.
server issues and matchup.
I didn't have server issues in matchup. It didn't have any of that. It didn't take that long to find people. 14 to 24 seconds. The only
Oh,
issue
that's
is
good.
I don't know why it takes so long to actually load. And I don't know if that's because
Trying to sync all the players together.
yeah, I don't know if that's
Mhm.
because of PC and old Xbox players together and along with the
Or poor connections versus the trying to level all the connections in order and whatnot. Ugh.
I think we can all agree we're curious about it, right?
oh, it's still the same.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
good.
still
I
play
liked
it.
it. I mean, it's still fluid. It's
Just want to
still
get in a
Halo.
co-op. Been waiting on this co-op for over a
Yeah,
year. Like now we freaking ready for
We're
it.
here. What's up? Let's go.
so double is off tomorrow. So hit me up tomorrow, double. Don't give me this BS and say you got XYZ and go here and go there and tired from work and all this other BS and say you can't play co-op.
He gonna say he got stuff to do tomorrow.
I know.
You know I do, baby. We'll see how today go.
But guess what? You're off, so you don't have that much to do. Correct?
We'll see how today go. I always play it by ear.
You play it by ear? Well, get the wax out your ears so you can hear, and then play the right way. Because you be playing and then you be forgetting that something happened. So none of you guys played God of War. I mean, Halo.
Halo.
Yeah, you guys should play it. It's nice. Especially, well, you'll have better
Let me
or
update
more
it.
in-depth things to say when you actually get to play the Forge mode and the co-op mode, network co-op, which I prefer network co-op because as I was telling your nephew, OG, when he helped me set up my TV, I was telling your nephew, I don't like sharing, so I can't play Halo with anybody on the screen, on my screen. They can go downstairs or I'll go to another room and play the other Xbox. I ain't sharing my screen. So it
Yeah.
doesn't make it doesn't I can care less about it.
Get your own screen.
You get your own screen, not mine. I
I mean,
can't
it
share.
does throw
I
you off.
just thought of a funny scenario where the one said that to that was Darius that like fix your set up your TV, right?
Excuse me?
Yeah, it was Darius.
Yeah, okay. I thought of a funny scenario when the one said that there was horror music and he said like, "Hey, you, I don't share my screen. You got that?" Yeah.
No, that's about right. Just like that. I don't share my screen. Don't want to share it. Never had, never will. That's why I got two Xbox Series X's. Somebody come over, you can have that one. And I'm taking my other one. Vice versa. At least I'm not stingy.
Like I know how to share,
I know how to
just not
share.
on my own screen. You gotta use a different screen. Just all.
One is 65 inch and one is 83 inches. I don't care the other. But I wish you guys would get ready to play the game, play Halo when you get a chance. So we'll
I have it downloaded. I just
right,
gotta transfer
right.
it, so
We,
that ain't too bad.
Take like 20 minutes.
Still behind my journey.
we'll revisit that next week.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about Sonic Frontiers? Who played it? What do you think? You think you're gonna get it? Because I think it has a low Metacritic score but a very high user score. User, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let me like start off on this.
Yeah, you can take this
Yeah. So on Metascore, it has a 72. Here's the thing. This is actually an improvement over like the last Sonic mainline Sonic game, Sonic Forces, which I'm pretty sure even like fans admitted that Sonic Forces was kind of like mediocre. I think Forces has a 59 on Metacritic, at least with like the Metascore. As a matter of fact, I'm on the website, so I can just look that up very quickly. And okay, mostly like has like 50. It mostly has like 57. Like the PS4 version has 57, Switch version has 57, but I don't like how like Metacritic um gives out scores on like individual versions of the same game. So I'm gonna say like basically on average it's a 57. But yeah.
Wow. On average, it's a 57.
Yeah, I mean,
That's crazy.
I myself haven't played Forces, but from what I heard, that game is just meh. It's just average. Like, of course, Sonic can do better, and front, and as you can see, like Frontiers has a 72. User score is a 9 out of 10 though.
That's what I said.
But
9 out of 10 is scored very high amongst the users, which I think they're the ones who plan it. And 900 players, that's a lot ready for such. It released on Tuesday, didn't it?
yeah, Frontiers came out in November 8th.
That was Tuesday. You
Yeah,
speaking
that's a
as
Tuesday. Yeah.
yeah. You're speaking as if it was last month. Yeah, it came out November 8th.
But yeah, when it comes with Metacritic, I usually look at user scores because they're usually like the fans, of the
Yeah,
series. Yeah.
playing it. They were the ones actually taking time.
Yeah. Instead of the critics that don't like this type of game and forced to play it or just want to play in it to give a review, taking the sponsorship money.
That's all that is. And they don't get, if they didn't get any, where they don't get it, then they give it low scores. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't believe they haven't. Let me not say that. Some of them lack integrity.
But
Preliminary, they was all hyped for it.
Until they didn't get that
Critics.
little money.
Yeah. Interesting.
but overall, like Sonic Frontiers, I hear a lot of good things about it. It's the general, I guess, reception is that it's a great game. And I definitely can't wait to get it when the time comes. And yeah, I think I want to get on. I mostly want to get it on like PC because it looks like a really good game to stream. Especially since it's kind of short for like a modern game. It's like what, 20 to 30 hours from what I heard.
That's not that short.
That's decent.
It's very decent.
In today's time, a short game is what, 8 hours?
Yeah, 8 to 10.
At one point, there was an epidemic where all the games were coming out was no more than 12 hours.
If a game was 12 hours, it's a good game, it has a good story, and engaged me, I don't have a problem with the game being as long as I felt it was fulfilling as a game. If it's 12 to 15 hours, I'm good.
I'm saying when it was the only game that's made is just 12 hours. Like there was nothing but 12-hour games out at one point. That's when it got bad. It was like, oh, they wanted to play games like that. Like, yeah, it's cool every once in a while, but it takes an amazing game for me to be like, yeah, that was worth the 12 hours. Like, what was that? That Sea of Solitude. That's like a 12-hour game. And I will agree with you. That game blew my mind.
What about Quantum Break?
You know what
Quantum
I
Break
say about
12 hours, right?
Yeah, Quantum Break was pretty good, but you know what? Let me give you, speaking of Quantum Break, Quantum Break was a movie. It was a game. I the worst part of Quantum Break is that they are just like Naughty Dog to me with mechanics when it comes to using a gun. The gun system sucked in both games,
Yeah.
and
Even in Control, it was
yes,
heavy, and you had to get
right,
used to it. And
right.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, if that wasn't the case, and they're talking about, let me go back to God of War. Oh, it's a great game. It's a great game. It's a great game. It's at 1080p, and it even drops down to 1080p on the PS5 or 1440. Get what I'm saying when I say this? Quantum Break was dogged out because it was 720p. Nothing else mattered. It was 720p. That appears to be the only narrative that it was ran with. The gun mechanics wasn't all that, but it was a cool story. It was okay. It wasn't a great story, but it
The
wasn't as
premise
bad.
was awesome, but it
Right.
wasn't. They didn't pull it off completely.
Well, I don't think it was bad as people say. What
No,
destroyed
it's a good game. It's just
exactly.
it was the
the-
immersion of it.
right, but the 720p narrative is what destroyed the game, and that was because
True.
of critics. Not a critic didn't say, you know what? Even though they made concessions, and they made concessions for what? God of War, because they told you in the beginning it was made for the PS4,
Mm-hmm.
and we just updated it for the PS5 or whatever.
And we know that it's a PlayStation product. It gets all the leniencies it can get because the performance is there. Like the only thing I have a problem is like when you die, the load screens take freaking forever. But the load screens in between movie sequences and all that seem seamless because they use that tree, like in the last one, the transversal. They'll have a little conversation in there and whatnot. And
That's the same thing, the same mechanic the Gears does.
yeah, exactly like that.
Gears
Make
did
it make the load screen interesting.
Yes.
Click for next tip.
That's exactly what happened. But we'll see how. Did you have anything else to say? Anyone had anything else to say about Sonic Frontiers?
Mega.
Double?
I'm good.
Now,
I'm good.
all I say is, I like the game. Sorry, I need to calm myself down.
Well, we're going to start out with some next topic is going to be some financial news as Mr. Megalixer did his research and wants to talk a little bit about Nintendo's quarterly earnings report. So Q2. So how well did they do?
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go through stuff that's like, the most like interesting because this is 54 pages.
No, we don't want
Um,
it to be 54 pages. Give us what you
Give us
thought was
the meat.
interesting.
well, okay. This will be a little bit like this will be like a little bit improv, since I kind of found this like only like yesterday. So
Just go through some hot points. You don't need to be that definitive in it. Just go to a couple of points you thought were interesting.
okay, well, first and foremost, a thing that I've noticed that they said in here is that they said that Q2 in terms of like Switch units sold, it was a little bit lower than the first quarter, but they noticed that like more software for the Switch was bought in Q2 than Q1. And I'm not sure if this is like a usual thing because I always thought that units sold is usually like more than like software, but then again, that's just like but then again, people can buy multiple games, so like who am I to know? But yeah. The next thing they said is that 30% of like switches that were bought and in Q2 were from people that already had a Switch and that want to give it to like a friend, a relative, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's kind of like I feel like that's like what's definitely really helping the Switch is that you may find a household where like there's like multiple, and I really think it's the portability factor that helps that since it's normal, since I feel like it's normal to have like multiple, I guess multiple handhelds than is to find like
Well, you know, if you got a bunch of kids, you know, people buy 3 or 4 of those Switches, you know. They got 3 or 4
yeah,
kids.
They'll learn to share.
yeah.
Nah,
That's
that ain't happening in this generation. Everybody got to have their own.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, heck, if I'm like an adult, if I'm like a father
Go hide
and
him
I
with
have
my
multiple
TV.
kids, then I would just buy one Switch and multiple like controllers, you know. But that's just me.
You know, those little kids want to sit all on the couch and have their own.
Or if they don't want to play the game, you want to play at the time you want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
They'll rip it right out of the little the little cradle thing. And won't let nobody else play it.
But yeah, another interesting thing about this is they show like the age distribution of annual playing users. I really wish I could show like a picture of this,
How
you
many
know.
was it? How many was it?
I'll tell you one thing, the most highest age distribution of annual playing users is people in like their like extremely early 20s, as in like 20 years old to 21, and like people in like their like extremely late teens, like for example, I guess you could say me.
Yeah, you're in the
But
extremely late teens. You got 1.5 years left of being a teenager?
but
ready.
there's also like a good chunk of like people in their like 30s, you know, playing the Switch. And
Did you get any revenues out of that document?
any revenues off the document?
Yeah.
You mean like the money stuff?
Yes, that's the revenue. How did they do?
Okay, let's see.
Is this the same one you're looking at, Mega? Look at the stream.
Oh, look at the stream. Yep, that's the one. Yeah. Not the one that's in you, Mike, but but yeah, this is in like Japanese yen. I'm not sure how that converts to USD.
Well, quick
But
Google search. What's the money? What's the money?
all right.
What's the yen?
Yeah.
So yeah, gross. So like we're gonna pay attention to like the highlighted part.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so we got like 391.6 billion yen, right? So let's go ahead and convert that Japanese yen to
There we go. It's up.
The USD.
USD, yeah. All right.
2 billion.
Oh, are you about to search for it?
Yep. Yeah,
Chat?
it's up. Yeah, it's already up.
Okay, good.
I was just waiting for you to read it. That's a big number.
Okay, that's billion. That's billion, right?
Yep.
2.7.
2.7 billion.
That's if it's 2.7 billion yen, that's not gonna be more than.
No, it's dollars. It's dollars.
Yeah, this is the converted
We looking
version.
at Jazz got the conversion on the podcast.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That was
but
That's the second
say that
quarter.
again.
That's the second quarter, correct? That's what they did in the
Yeah,
second quarter.
yeah. According to like, I probably may have said it wrong, but now looking at like the financial highlights, the highlighted like stuff says FY23 / Q1 to Q2.
That's
The
fiscal
stuff
year.
they were the stuff they were comparing was FY22 / Q1 to Q2. So I think they were comparing like last year to this year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My fault. But yeah. Let's see. What's another thing? I know they definitely said like another certain thing in this PDF. It was something along the lines of, okay, there it is. They said like through a steady introduction of new titles and initiatives to extend the lifespan of software, many users could continue to play Nintendo Switch. And it seems like this is what like Nintendo gets on why the Switch is still healthy,
Oh, it's going to be healthy. There's another report that came out that said the majority of the Nintendo Switch users are between 20 and 30, not the younger kids. That's the majority. So, interesting report.
Yep.
More than kids?
Excuse me?
Did you say more than kids?
The majority of the people,
Majority of 20 to 30. So
20 to 30.
so the people who are playing the GameCube in their teenage years, basically.
Yeah, they graduated up.
Yeah, I think an interesting thing is that I think in their fiscal year of like during like the first year of like the Switch's lifespan, which was 2017, I think most people that bought it, like it was like teenagers. But it seems like it changed a bit as time went by.
Because those kids got older. The ones who grew up
That's true.
Yeah, the kids got older.
That was the point. That was the point that I made.
They stopped buying their own.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they know the system that they like, no matter what. They know they can rely on Nintendo to provide a good game. Good, reliable game.
Okay. Interesting report. Anybody else have any questions about that report?
Nope. It was good.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
I'm not sure if this adds to one more thing to say.
You say what?
May cut off a bit.
Yeah, you went out.
But
oh, there you go.
You faded off.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we dropped him. Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. But while we're waiting on that, did you guys?
I wanted to mention that 114 million, is that 5 years?
I think so.
I think that's is it? That's the total. That's the projected what they think they're gonna get by Q2 2023, or is that just now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
also
what they have.
fiscal year 2023.
That's what they have now. All of users.
That's what they have now.
Hit it. Yep.
Nintendo stay relevant. I keep saying that. They got their market. They
Without
just
even
stay in their
trying.
lane, and they stay in their lane, and they don't say much. We just gonna talk about what we doing. That's all we gonna do. We ain't gonna say nothing about nobody else.
Oh, it's back.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm back.
Yep.
I now use phone. One of the things that like I hate about my tablet is that when it's at 10%, the performance drops, which means that like
Yeah,
It
you
starts
should.
cutting apps. It starts cutting apps.
You should have never let it go at 10%.
You know what 10%
Lessons.
is to a device? 10% is you getting frostbite. That's what it is. Your body start losing limbs to preserve the innards of the organs. So 10% is a lifeline, man.
I mean, heck, my phone doesn't really, act like it needs like a hug, but But I was about to say that since we're kind of like in like Nintendo consoles, they usually last till like I say 5 to 6 years, like until like the next console comes. Now we're in 2022. This is actually the 5th year of the Switch. And I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like I guess what they can do for like next year and who knows, is that what if they release a successor to the Switch, but with more powerful specs, you
They
know?
need.
That's what they've been bouncing around an idea. Switch with a higher processor. I've been seeing it like a 2.0.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
but
I,
I get
but let me
that
say
one.
this. Let
I
me say,
wait,
we spent almost a half an hour on this topic, so let me
we
say this
did?
early. Yes,
I didn't know this, but
yes. But let me just say this: Nintendo is not bringing out anything new. If that is selling, and it's selling like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
what? Why would they bring it out? Their profit margins go up each time because it's an older device. They're able to get parts for cheaper, even though what's going on in the world today with the inflation and Sony raising their prices, and it's rumored that Microsoft and Nintendo will be raising their prices. That remains to be seen. Until it happens, it's not true. But the fact that everyone keeps saying or thinking that Nintendo is going to bring out a new console, I don't think Nintendo's bringing out a new console until they're getting ready. If they're selling at the rate they're selling, why bring out a new one? I mean, Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo is not fighting for graphics. They're not fighting for. They are. I'm not saying fighting for frame rates, but their people are content. When you playing on that Switch, you're not looking at, ooh, I need 4K. No, you're looking at, hey, I want the funness.
that's
So
that's true. That's true. I agree with that actually.
That's
Just
how
so
Nintendo
milking what
always
they got.
been. They don't,
exactly,
Just
they don't
milking
they
what
don't
they
fight the
got.
same. They're not fighting that battle that Microsoft
I
and
can tell you this
they fought that
much.
with
I
Sega, and
want to
after that
say
they was
this. I
done.
want to say this
If
though. Do you
when
think that if they do release like another like I guess console, do you think that it will be like something like totally different that changes like a way of play style? Kind of like
define.
how the Wii was?
No, I think they're going to play it safe. Why change something that's working?
Hmm. But
And
then
every time
again,
they
I
try
feel
something
like
new,
with
it fails.
I said they
But
milking
why
what they
change
got.
something that's working?
Wii,
I mean, they
I
may.
can tell you this much. If Steam can, I don't know, if they can get the cost of the Steam Deck down, it can be a threat to the Switch.
I agree. I'll buy a Steam Deck, but
If you could play whatever game instead of just Switch games, hey.
again, that's their price point. That's their price point. Even that handheld that just came out for cloud streaming, if that thing costs the same price as the Switch does, or it's not worth it. Anything that's streaming shouldn't be over $200. Now, that's just my thought.
I could
So
agree with that.
as far as like I said, let's move on. But as far as that Nintendo Switch, I don't see them. If they bring out something next year, it's because it's waning and they just trying to get some new product out and be more competitive. But the new consoles are out and it didn't hurt them one bit. So your profit margins are going to remain high.
I'm just saying they do that stuff with the battery increases and the performance increases from time to time. That's the one I'm saying, like a Switch 2.0. Nothing like a major increase,
Oh
but
no,
just
they're not right. They're not going to do anything. I mean, if they do anything, and you're saying okay, they're coming out with a 4K, yeah, it'll be 4K at 1440.
nah.
They're
Just
not doing
like it'll be a faster process, something
But
like
see,
nothing major,
what,
nothing
what
major.
people what people don't realize, and we can move on from this topic. This topic is that
Moving on.
Nintendo can't afford to sell their devices at a loss. They're not. They don't have any other products to like Microsoft is $1 trillion company. They got Azure. They got Word, the Office. They got LinkedIn. All those different business units are making money, so they can subsidize. Nintendo is strictly games. Nothing else subsidizes what they do. What they do. Suffice it to say, um, Sony is kind of similar, although much smaller. They got the movie division. I think they have an insurance company or whatever, TVs. So they have all that to sell as well outside of gaming. Nintendo doesn't have that. So that's why Nintendo can't afford to sell at a loss.
Yeah, they're purely like a video game company.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So we beat that dead horse or that profiting horse, whatever you choose to call it.
Nice report. That was
Yeah,
nice.
good report. Good report, Double. I mean, Megan, good details.
Thank you.
So what do you guys
You're
think
welcome.
about,
Yeah.
what do you guys, and this to me goes a little bit of like what I'm about to say about being strictly a gaming company, um, Nintendo, where they can't compete with Microsoft on selling at a loss. What do you guys think about Strauss Zelnick and what he said about Game Pass?
Hey, to
You
our
know what?
CEO. So the only thing I know about this is that I'm pretty sure like what last year or 2 years ago, Take-Two said that they're not gonna put their games on Game Pass.
Right, but he
But
said that Game Pass, he doesn't, for lack of a better way of explaining or going further with this, he said he did Game Pass. He doesn't see how first party games could be on Game Pass, which made a lot of people say, see, Sony was right. Not if their business model. It wouldn't be good for them because they don't have other entities, they don't have the infrastructure built. Microsoft has an infrastructure that they can somehow rely on. Everyone else doesn't. They would have to build an infrastructure. That's billions of dollars to do that. So when he said that, what are your guys' thoughts about that? Double.
Um, he's going back and forth, but he was saying that the customers would dictate what Take-Two would do.
Right, in his perspective, because
So
that's strictly a video game.
yeah, he's tittering. He doesn't know really. It's whatever the customers dictate. You know, that's all I got from what he was saying.
Okay, Lady Jazz.
This is new to me. I'm reading through.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Serge.
I don't know a lot about it, but it looks like
He
he's
tends
just
to
trying
be
to coax others into his same way of thinking. Like it doesn't make sense to be within Game Pass.
well. Here's the funny thing. He put two
Well,
old games.
he's saying
in.
first party.
Right, first party. But he did say something about putting Grand Theft Auto in Game Pass. Hey, the game's 5 years old, and all it is a microtransaction heaven. I am probably the only person on earth that's a gamer that could care less about Grand Theft Auto. So I never liked it, never played them. It's the language is what destroys me in that game. So I can't play that game because of some of the language that it says about people and how people disrespect themselves. I can't play that game. I won't touch the game. But a lot of people love it. To each his own. I don't like that, but it's a download. You download to play the game, but it's an old game. So he was expecting it to do like Game Busters, and it's not because it's an old game. Everybody probably already had it that was going to buy it. So why would you buy it?
Wait a minute, you haven't played it?
I'm like, I played it for 5 seconds. No, there is not a Grand Theft Auto that I really have ever liked. Even the ones that the remakes came out, those were horrible in Game Pass. Not horrible as far as they're horrible looking. I'm just not a Grand Theft Auto person. Like I said, I can't take the insults to a certain group of people and they make this certain group of people insult themselves. To me, I just can't. No, you're not gonna put that in a video game. Have me play a character that insults people, especially
That's
people that.
understandable.
Yeah, so I can't do that. I can't do it, and yeah, I just can't play that game. I'm not a fan of it. Never have been, never will be. So when Grand Theft Auto 6 come out, it'll be you guys can play it all day. And if we doing a podcast, you say you play it, you already know the answer. Skip me. I'm not joking.
Not
I
even
can care less
Franklin.
about. I can care less about Grand Theft Auto. Never liked the game. I play Red Dead before I play Grand Theft. And that game
That's a
has
great
shooting
game.
mechanic. Yeah, that has shooting mechanic problems. But anyway, uh, Mega, did you say something about it? What you think?
Not really. I haven't really looked deeply into this topic, but all I could say is that, I don't really agree. I don't get his point. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, because he's not making a profit. He has to make mega profits, and that's why he said he can't do it. Lady, what did you think?
Mm.
Yeah, exactly what that sounds like. This
He can't make as much
profits.
money he wants to make, so he's gonna have negative opinions on it.
But isn't Red Dead 2 in Game Pass?
I don't
Was
think
it?
so.
I own Red Dead too, so I know I can tell
Mm,
us I own it.
Let me look that up. I don't think so.
It's not in Game Pass now. If you're saying it's in Game Pass now,
No.
no. But a couple of their games were. I think the and that's kind of a misnomer what he said because I think the first Red Dead Redemption did come to Game Pass for a minute and it did well.
It did.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I know he said one part about uh you know uh first run games coming out, day one.
right. But here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing, which threw the internet ablaze about them being acquired by Microsoft. Remember, he said, "Ooh, we got 30 million people in Game Pass." So in essence, he's pumping Game Pass
Exactly.
up on that one. So he's being two-faced.
He's being two-faced.
Yeah,
That yeah. He's
that's
being
exactly
two-faced.
what he's doing. He's playing both sides of the stick.
Because that's why he was saying that the customers will dictate where their games will go.
Now, I would say if Microsoft, they don't have it already, Microsoft should have outbid it. Sony, because Sony can't match that checkbook and said, okay, let us get the exclusivity to uh, Grand Theft Auto when it comes out. And Microsoft can say, whatever they bid, we can double. Because you're not going to beat them in money. Sony can't beat Microsoft in money. See, I be dirty. See, that's how I play. If I got more money than you, don't compete with me, because you're gonna lose. And then they'll have them saying it. But anyway, we'll have to wait to see how that comes out. I think, like I said, I think Game Pass is a one of the greatest things since sliced bread in gaming. That is great. You're never gonna have me acting
Hmm.
fun in Game Pass. I get my points. That's as long as it
He
benefits
he
me.
is double talk.
And find new games that you never thought you would try because it's quote
Exactly.
unquote free. So like, let me
Yes.
try this
Sea of
out.
Solitude.
Get your achievements,
I will ever say Sea of Solitude. Y'all don't know that game.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah,
See
I
if
have that installed.
I've been saying this since we've been doing this
I
podcast. Sea
know.
of Solitude.
Since you keep saying it, keep emphasizing, I think we're gonna play Sea of Solitude just to because you keep advertising it. So they should pay you on the side because you are advertising the game. So
Mhm.
they should give you some hookups. They should give you some free achievements or something.
I'll take points.
We say I take points.
Pay me in points. Give me some gift cards as long as I can pay for.
Hmm.
Okay,
I was
so
just pleasantly surprised about that game. I couldn't stop playing it once I started.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I keep
Okay.
saying the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna keep repeating myself.
I thought that I thought at one point it was leaving Game Pass though.
It's in EA Pass. It's an EA game.
but
Oh,
Sea of
okay.
Solitude,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's still Game Pass. You just have to download it separately on PC. So you have to download their app on PC. if you want to play the EA Game Pass. And Game Pass, you got to download, which I find to be the stupidest thing I ever seen. But
Yeah, I just do it on the console instead
yeah,
of messing with all that.
Does it
Because
still have that
everybody got
cheap-
their own app now, so you got to download their app. Even with that Watchdog, you got to do that too.
yeah, on the PC you do.
Yep.
Speaking of Watchdog, wasn't that app rumored to be coming to Microsoft's Game Pass or something, or coming to the Xbox?
What?
EA, I mean, not EA,
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, yeah.
Yeah, they was talking about it, but I ain't heard nothing else
It
about it.
hasn't come to fruition yet.
Yeah, not
Um,
yet. Not
let's
yet.
move, okay. Let's move to our next topic. This is going to be what I call a spicy topic of the night. It's not our last topic, but it's going to be our most spicy topic. Early in the week, and I'm not, Lady Jazz can pull the topic up, but and for the viewers, please like and subscribe if you can. Then tell other people to listen. It'll be much appreciated. But Final Fantasy I think they did an interview, was it IGN, and they were speaking of the lack of diversity because they wanted to stay close to the cultural environment, meaning if it's in Europe, it will not have any people of color. So they want to keep it like that. But it's a fantasy game based off that time period.
Is it fantasy or isn't it fantasy?
It's
Well,
Final
I have a
It's a
question. Was
European
it
fantasy where
IGN?
there's only Europeans.
I have a
Only.
question. Was it IGN that said that or the developers?
IGN, supposedly, was it IGN that posed the question and they had it already answered, a long paragraph. So to me, that was planned and staged. So they wanted to get ahead of this before it all got out to the public. I think that that was not a genuine question. I think the question was staged because you ask that type of question and you can go on and on and on and explain it so eloquently in your opinion as to why you won't have people of color in the game. To me, that was staged. I said me, meaning my opinion. And until they can prove me otherwise, anybody can say what they want to say. That was all staged. And it was a question that they said, because most people, before they do an interview, they say, let us see the questions you're going to ask us. Because you're not going to catch most people off guard to ask them a
Mm-mm.
got you moment. That's why no one really does a got you
Mm-hmm.
unless most times you do an interview, they say, well, send us the type of questions you're going to ask so we can be prepared. You ever see, I'm not saying they do it, but you see how well Phil Spencer can answer those questions when it comes to this merger? He's ready on it like that. It's like he's not been coached. And when I say coach, whenever you're dealing with mergers and acquisitions, the lawyers have to talk to you and say, this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. Not that he doesn't know, but in legal speak, you got to have that in place because you don't want to be misquoted.
Look at this Twitter
Therefore,
quote. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yes, because he Twitter runs everything. So what do you
But
guys?
is this supposed to be medieval times, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So or medieval times or what have you? Is it
Okay.
Is it
And
Europe, medieval Europe? Isn't medieval Europe? But
okay,
they can
and who
go
was
to
there in medieval
right,
times
But
in
my
Europe?
point, you can go to Africa and talk about
Everybody.
and see them visiting and this, that,
Apparently
and the other.
chocobos too.
And Europe and Africa and right across the Mediterranean, and you're going to tell me that there has not been a cross pollination of any sort, unless you're talking about their end or happening in
How y'all
the
get your
Norwegian
seasonings?
area, the German area, Northern Eastern European, and the Slovak area, something like that. I may have a little bit off, but you're going to go that far to say it's a fantasy game, but you can't have any inclusion in 2022. I take issue with it. You're not going to convince me otherwise. That's just my opinion in this day and
Say that
age.
was always buried. They will always be buried. They always should be buried. Where is his clan? Where's Barrett's? The people of Barrett.
So
What
No.
we're gonna forget all about Cheddar Man.
yeah,
It's not their ancestor.
exactly. But
Oh, and
I
by the way, Serge, don't forget about Titus from no, not Titus, but Waka
Waka.
from Final
Waka.
Fantasy X.
Waka Waka.
Yeah.
The Waka's the
what's
band.
that?
The
Look,
Pacific Islander.
look, he's a
Waka.
person of color. Yup. This tweet
See,
says all the non-white people lived in their respective corners of the world, and giant rideable chickens roam free. Accuracy.
say it again. Say that again.
It says all the non-white people lived in their respective corners of the world, and the giant rideable chickens roamed free. Accuracy.
I think it's bogus. That's all I think. And if he can say this, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. If you're going to say, okay, it's only going to be all Caucasian people in it, and then you mean you're an Asian developer, and you don't want to put it, so there are not going to be any Asians in it either? Or are you going to say, oh, well, they're Asians because the Asians and the people in Europe, they discussed, they talked, they traded? Well, trade started in the Middle East and Africa first, then it went east, further east. So I don't get it in this day and age. I am not worried about cultural accuracy because then you're going to say cultural accuracy in a video game. If you're going to start talking about all this accuracy, then let's start telling the accuracy in everything we do and not interpret things, because then you can say, go back and look at Cleopatra or Nefertiti, and you can get into very big conversations on the complexions of people. That's why I think it's very good for people to have diversity, because people don't want to play, or even just this. You can call it whatever you want to call it. And this is my point with Elden Ring to a degree, but they did have some form of diversity. Don't give me a character that I can't make look like me, unless you're talking about a game like God of War, or are you talking about a game where the character is already who he is?
Yeah, like he playing a
Right.
set path.
Right. I don't have a problem with games
A
like that.
Plague's Tale.
Right. But that was medieval, and I have a little bit problems with that. But you know the French, because there's a movie coming out about Marie Antoinette and this guy, biracial guy, who was a not a he was a musician. I forget the name of it, but very interesting movie coming out next year. It's going to blow people away. But my point is, we're in 2022, approaching 20. Technically, we're almost in 2023. The lack of we should not be hearing this cultural accuracy unless you're going to carry out in a video game, unless you're going to carry it out 100% and make everything culturally and accurate. And then you're going to have to start telling the truth about everything under the sun. It's a
Mm-hmm.
fantasy. It's a video game. So you're saying you want to keep it accurate, but they had powers too. Powers are fantasy. Show me them. Show me in the the Middle Ages or medieval times. Let's call it that, where they had fire swords and they can do all this
On
different
ice
types of.
spells and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my problem with that. I just think that you should give me a character that I can develop that looks like me, or look I can make it look like anything. Even let's and I'll go one further. Let's look at Skyrim. I mean, not Skyrim. Elden. What's that? What you call online? What's it called?
ESO.
ESO
Elder
online.
Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls online. That could be considered medieval times, can we not?
Everybody in there.
Yeah,
The
but they
Red
got
Guards.
everybody in
They
there.
got us.
Exactly.
We're the Red Guards. They even got kitties if you want to be Khajiit.
Whatever you want to be, and that's my
Hell,
whole
the
point.
Witcher.
Because
and they deal with slave relations and that and everything. Oh my
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
goodness.
see, when you was trying to escape, you're trying to escape, and that's video game is for escaping. I'm not trying to live in the real world 100%. It doesn't make sense to do that. That's video games to have fun and engage in fantasy. But when you start saying, "Well, we want to keep it this way and that way," that's just my opinion of it, and I
Like,
don't
It just
want
would it hurt to have the ability to everybody make the character exactly how they want?
exactly.
What would that really hurt, and why are you defending it? So, just you'll make more sales if you had enough skins for everybody to where they
Well,
can do whatever they want. So,
I can I can promise you this: by him making that comment so early, he hadn't seen the end of this. He hadn't seen the end of this. I think it's going to be bigger controversy as the game releases. No one's going to let that just slip under the rug. Well, we didn't think. No, BS. I know I'm not buying it on PlayStation or whatever it comes on. I don't care if it's 10 out of 10. It's just that in this day and age, it is too much going on in this world where you want to say you escape, but you can't escape and not say, well, we all need to be included, but you want me to buy your game. If you don't want me to buy your game, like Halo, Halo is back in 2000. Halo came out 2000, 2001. Diverse.
Yeah, they had everybody. They had Sanchez. They had
Yeah.
the main general was a black dude. Like, come on, man, let's go. We got to get done. Let's go. They had everybody in there, man.
I mean, people got upset with, and now they got upset with God of War because uh, of the, of because I guess it's Norse and of the Norse god and all that, and they had a person of color in there, and oh, you can't do this, and you can't. I'm like, oh my God, will you guys get over it? If you want
And
to go that,
they talking about other realms. And
yeah,
like you're not even in the same realm, dude. What are you
but
talking about?
yeah, but they
You
ready
got
to
a
change.
blue person in here. A blue person. No, no questions. Except for why is he blue? Well, what is his story? It's a reason why he blue. The world is ending though.
Double. Did you drop?
Boo.
Okay, we'll
Double,
go to you.
double, double.
He fell
Double.
asleep.
Oh, he
No,
fell
I'm
asleep.
back.
Okay.
No, I'm back.
Wake
Feeling
up.
that slump. Getting his
What
curly on.
What are your thoughts, Double?
No, I'm back.
What are
Uh,
your thoughts?
my thought is that they want every character to be androgynous.
Okay.
That's my thought. Every
Interesting.
character has to be androgynous in their games.
True. That could be a point. That could be a point.
And they have a worship for the West that I
Ding
don't
ding
want to
ding
get into.
ding.
European, yeah,
Ding
no,
ding
that's
ding
this is
ding.
no,
It's
that's
funny because
that is very That for you mean Eastern, Western European? They do.
it's okay if I add something.
Hey,
I
say
think Square Enix did said that they can't like just market to like Japan anymore.
your point is
Does that
that's
relate?
why.
Does that relate to what he said?
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
but
Not
he
at all.
said that. But so what? You know,
Okay. No, Final Fantasy. Here's the point where he made that
those
mistake.
games
Here's where that
they've
point is
been
stupid.
played for years in the West.
Well, here's the
Years.
problem. Here's the problem with that. When he said they can't market in Japan, they can't depend on Japan anymore as their target market. Idiot. And I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking about the person that said it. If you wouldn't have listened to Sony and just segregated your games to PS2, PS Sony only, you would have been on you would have been on other platforms. You should have been on PC first. You should have been on the Xbox. You didn't open your
Definitely
market.
PC, especially
Yeah.
in the Asian markets.
But no, you want to now you out of business, and you said you can't market. I can tell us. It's very hard for me to get into Java. I mean, I am playing Persona. It's okay. I'm trying to finish it, but I don't like turn-based games. Everybody's saying, "Oh,
I'm
it's a great
actually
game."
surprised you gave it a try.
No, I don't like turn-based games. The story is okay.
Points.
It's too much walking. It's too I don't want to walk anywhere. Let me go to A to B. But it's all this walking and story and clicking and no.
No, you sound like me. Point click adventures.
Mhm.
Cha cha.
But it's okay. I mean,
Props for
but what?
trying something,
Yeah, I always try stuff. Okay, what are your opinions, Mega? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I completely agree on like what you say. It's a fictional world. It's fantasy. It doesn't have to be accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, giant chickens. Come on now. You got like
And heck,
mushroom
like
people. What are the Mughals? I mean, come on.
Dancing cactuses.
yeah,
Get
Mughals. I
out of
mean,
here.
heck, my Twitch profile picture is a Mughal.
They're
But
so
always
cute
an
though.
excuse. They
That's what
always making some excuse.
that's what
it's
We
that's
ain't
also
did nothing to nobody. Nobody. They
I
always
was
make
gonna
an
say
excuse.
it's also weird because previous titles were like they had like diversity, so why is it different now? You
very
know?
little diversity, but diversity nonetheless.
It
Right.
was some like I keep remembering. I think it was 8 with the black guy with the fro.
Yeah, I'm
Real
playing that
zany.
now.
Yeah,
The
he
Frodo
was
goes
zany
out
as
and the
hell.
bird that lived in it.
Seven had
Yeah, him.
Final Fantasy 7 had like the best diversity, but yeah.
But you know what? They all, like, honestly, every single, in my opinion, Final Fantasy has a medieval touch to it. Whether it's the decor, the
Yes.
scenery,
It's just
the
steampunk.
music.
Yeah.
Like, even before
just a touch
steampunk
of
was a thing,
technology.
but yeah. It all just
Yeah.
always had this
I think
regal feel.
10
That's the word I'm looking for. Regal feel.
I was about to say I think 10 was when 10 had like a Southeast Asian twist to it. But yeah.
You guys can
Only
talk
thing I
about
hear is
all that.
excuses.
I hate excuses too. Don't give me that. I mean, I'm not a kid, meaning I'm not some 10-year-old who I do have critical and analytical thinking skills that I can use. Do not insult my intelligence telling me what you're going to explain to me why. If you're going to explain to me why, then you better understand why I'm going to come at you the certain way because you living in a world where the world's 7 billion people, we're approaching 8. And let's say a good 4.5 billion of those people are people of color. And you're going to tell me you're going to ignore that? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not talking about just black people. I'm talking about just people of color in general.
You see what Wakanda Forever did when they saw that Mayan up in there. You saw the onslaught of love for that.
Yeah. But those type of movies are always inclusive.
I'm just saying for an example of like
Yeah,
feeling
that's right.
inclusive.
It's being inclusive. It is inclusive. I think sometimes you can understand that I don't think when people don't look like you and talking about like certain things should be, they don't, to me, they have a lack of understanding of how we look at things.
Empathy.
Yes.
It's all empathy.
Yes, that's the key word. You don't see how a person can look at it saying, okay, you got your son or daughter playing a video game, but the son or daughter only plays video games. They never see anybody look like them. They see a character and say, I can't, my son or daughter start liking a character again, like a character look like them. And I'm not anywhere portraying to say you can't, even any kid or any uh, race can't look up to somebody of another race. That's not what I'm talking about. But you don't always, that's like saying you playing a video game and all the heroes are dogs. You get what I'm saying in a Final Fantasy world where you can have chickens running around, this, that, and the other. No human character. You're like, oh, that's kind of crazy. People don't see it like that. They say, well, it's okay. It's okay when you're not diverse, but yet the rest of America and the world saying, oh, we got to have diversity. And they act like it's fake. No, it's not the point that you got to have it. People are tired of not seeing the world as it is. For someone who visited and has traveled the world, I see things in a different perspective.
We American.
Yes.
Anywhere else we're American. There's not any kind of racial diversity. Just American.
Yeah.
I mean, it's boring. I mean,
Yes,
the
that's
androgynous is boring. It's
I don't know. So what is your Lady Jazz, what is your thoughts?
I'm basically sprinkled my 2 cents here and there. It always had some kind of medieval feel to it. Just a lame excuse. Like, well, no, this is what we want to do. Okay.
Especially when your history says different.
Mm-hmm.
The history of Final Fantasy says different than what you're talking about.
You know more about the
So-
Final Fantasy lore than I do, because I can tell you anything about it. I couldn't tell you.
Because they had many places where they have diversity in Final Fantasy world. It's just recently they just said, nah, we ain't. That
Yeah,
ain't
just
part
like
of
I
it no
said
more.
earlier.
Serge, what are your thoughts?
I think it's just them trying to change something that's already been set forward. I don't know. They it's a reason why they doing it that we don't know, and we might know. I just don't care to talk about it in that level. Like I would choose not to, not choose not to, but I hope that it's not that reason that you just want to not have it in there just because it's a game and you don't want to have it in there. Like there's no reason to not put it in there.
Exactly. You can say
There's the reason to not put it in there. What is the reason to not put it in there? Like seriously. That's the real question. Why is it such a big deal to not put it in when it's just a little bit of extra information that y'all probably already have anyway? It's just a couple of tweaks here and there.
true.
Don't hurt nothing. Don't hurt nothing to make everybody included.
So Square Enix gets the foghorn.
Where he get a foghorn from?
Uh,
That sounded like a squeaky air horn than a
For real.
foghorn.
Man, it was an air horn. It wasn't no burr.
Here.
all right, so let's get to our last point. Um, last little bitty story. Really, it's not a big story. I'm sure you guys heard this over and over again, but it's for first it was like the European Union took the Microsoft Activision acquisition through phase two, and then everybody was like, "Oh, it's phase two." It's like it was a big boo ha ha that it was fear, uncertainty, doubt. But I'm like, Bill already said we're going to phase two. Everyone knew they were going to phase two, and then it was also said, why would we give you any documents and make any concessions in phase one when we know you're going to go to phase two? Why would we give you show our cards before we even get there? Now, speaking on this, and this is my whole point about these mergers and acquisitions and European Union and the CMA, I think they're all full of crap. Posted something yesterday where they're about to investigate Meta, the European Union about to investigate Meta, and it's like
You got like
they're on the U.S. companies, big tech. They just own them, and I just think the U.S. government. Not saying this to be prejudiced, but it's like everybody is on us to stop us as a U.S. big tech, and maybe some of it is uh, genuine concern, which they should have. But again, I think the EU, especially CMA, has no reason to block from going back this merger based off concerns and what Sony does and what Sony has. I just think they're going to do it. There's something that tells me everybody was saying, "Oh, they have no legal." No, that's never legal. They're just gonna try and do it, and we'll see how at the end of this month. It should be next week. I'm going to say next week because they said they have by. It should be next week. We'll hear from, or right before Thanksgiving, we'll hear from. We'll hear from the FTC.
that's right. T-Pose.
Say what, sir?
T-Pose said include everybody. I was just listening.
So we'll hear from the FTC. That's my opinion. And if they don't say anything, then they better get ready because I'm telling you, the CMA, the FCC has no grounds either, but the CMA, they're going to make something up. And by the three little things that the EU said, the Microsoft should be able to just run circles around them. Three, one was that Call of Duty Microsoft may be able to stop that game from going on other operating systems. And I'm like, it's on Windows and Linux if you want it to be, because you consider technically PlayStation is run on Linux OS, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So if you want to get technical, well, that PlayStation is one. But my point is, it's not. If I don't think it's on Mac, and they say it was at once, but it hasn't been on it. But that wasn't Microsoft stopping it. So I don't see how that is. That point is moot to me. This shouldn't even been there. I think they were just trying to say we got to come up with some objections to make it look like we're making we're going after this. But I still think they're going to think of something. Um, so what are your thoughts on this, lady and gentlemen? Double, what's your thought?
Just it's a big acquisition, and
And it
it's a lot
should
of
be
money in the play,
right.
and
Yes, I
so
believe it.
it's gonna keep going through this. It's just another formality, another hurdle. It's
Yeah,
gonna go through.
you believe
It's
so?
gonna go through. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, Lady Jazz.
Yep.
Your thoughts?
Mm, I think it'll go through, and that's
You
just
think
me
so?
being hopeful. Yeah, I really do. Cause
Um,
I mean, like looking at their track record, and it isn't because I'm mainly Xbox, but looking at their track record, they're more inclined, in my view, to share, and that's what this is all about. So,
it is. I mean, there. It's gonna be just like Minecraft. They worried about one game out of
yeah, there
all of
you go.
this.
That's a good example.
One game. I mean,
Look, Minecraft's everywhere,
Microsoft don't have no issue.
everywhere.
They want Call of Duty everywhere. Even if it's stripped down on the Nintendo Switch, they want it everywhere.
I
So
think I think they should put on Nintendo Switch just to show Sony that hey, we weren't joking. And I would have another company port it there for them. I wouldn't waste the resources for uh, of Infinity Ward or someone like them to do it. I would have a contract another one that understands the Wii. I mean the Switch nomenclature to come out and develop a game and port it. And then I would port 2 or 3 games and make my money.
Yeah, yeah, get like the people that ported Doom Eternal to the Switch. They're called Panic Button, you know. They did a good job at
Yeah.
optimizing it.
hey,
They,
that's Sony over there thinking small minded, you know?
I was
Yep.
Microsoft. I put it on the Switch because it's a pent up need to have something like that on the Switch.
For
What
sure.
What are your thoughts, Serge?
I just think it's a bunch of sour pusses doing sour puss things.
That's a good.
Case closed.
That's say the best for last because that's a good way to say it. That's the best way to
I'm
say
trying
it.
to be nice. Ooh.
Sourpuss people doing sourpuss things. Can't be mad at that. Did everyone Did everyone have their piece with that?
Oh, you see what the DigiDuelist said? They had Cold War and uh, War at War ported to the 3DS.
Oh,
So,
really?
mhm.
You know, a thing that I've learned is that like back in the late 2000s, they actually did like port every Call of Duty game to the DS and Wii. Pretty interesting, stuff.
So if Microsoft they can send it out, I guarantee it'll be a #1 seller. Mark my words, if they merge and they put it on the Wii, I mean the Switch, it's gonna go #1
For sure. It'll go number one
on the Switch, most definitely.
on the
And
Switch.
yes, it'll go #1, even if they bring out like Modern Warfare. Let's say Microsoft gets it and they port it and bring it out spring 2024. That game's gonna sell because they're not bringing out a new one for 2 years. They have enough time to port it over. And 2024 Call of Duty is not coming out until November 2024. and we should be out of the recession. Everything should be going okay. So we'll see.
Sunshine and lollipops and why did that song just play in my head when you said that?
No idea.
We be
So
out of
that
recession and everything. It'll be sunshine and lollipops.
sunshine and lollipops. So with sunshine and lollipops, let's do our outros. Where y'all gonna be? Mega, where you gonna be?
Well, the name is Megalixer. I'll be here every Thursday, and like I said before in the beginning of the stream, I now have a Twitch channel. I am planning on streaming tomorrow, actually. It's going to be like a test stream where I test out, different platforms, what works and what doesn't work, and yeah, it will be a fun time. Check it out.
Double. You don't work
You can
tomorrow,
find me.
so
Yeah, you can find me here every Thursday with the guys here. Being the old dude.
and the young lady.
Mhm.
Hey,
Don't forget the lady over there.
No offense taken.
Yeah, you forgot Lady Jones.
I wasn't finished.
Now you're gonna
I
try
have
to
to
clean
put
it
Lady
up.
Jazz in there.
Now you're gonna have to clean it up. Okay. Now you want to be a janitor, cleaning up the services. There you go. Amen.
Get that sawdust out your kit.
Hey, Lady Jazz knows. She knows. She knows.
Okay. Speaking of Lady Jazz,
You can find me here every Thursday. You can also come to our Facebook page, All Things Geeky,
Yo.
and subscribe.
All right. What about you, Lady Jazz?
You can find me here every Thursday, 7 Central Standard Time, Gamers DMZ, and I also stream on Twitch. All my handles are shown there: Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I stream art and I do multiple games throughout the week and every Friday. So y'all.
What about you, Sir Rich?
Oh, it's Sir Rich time. Well, you can find me at Sir Rich Gaming on Facebook. Twitter is Sir Rich, as well as on Twitch. You can find me at Sir Rich every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for our stay play. Currently, we're playing God of War Ragnarok. I'm a little bit addicted to playing that. We get random days in as well on that right now, as well as on Fridays at 7:30, in between 7:30 and 8. We get on Fridays and we play with streamers as well as we play with some of our friends and get on some multiplayer games. And you can also find me at YouTube. I don't know if I said that, at Sir Rich as well.
Right. Where can you find me? You can find me on my Xbox. You can find me on PlayStation, the one. You can find me Twitter, under the Gamers DMZ. And you can find me probably streaming tomorrow. I'm trying to get OG Double M out to play some Halo or online. I mean, multiplayer co-op. And if he plays, then I'm going to stream that tomorrow. Since he's off, I'm not working tomorrow either, so we all gonna be off tomorrow. And Megalixer, he's a young gentleman, so he gonna be asleep. He gonna wake up about 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow.
In his West Wing.
He go wipe the crust out his ass and get ready to go.
Get ready to go on his next adventure. But we can't hate on that.
Not at all.
Not at all. That's the life.
Enjoy it while you can.
Enjoy every
Because
bit
it
of
don't last as long as you think.
Let Sir Rich do what he do best.
What's that? Holla? Holla, holla? Holla, 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 and holla. Holla to you. Oh, jeez.
But not holler to doubt. Jeez, my ears.
For real. Googa, mugga, shamugga.
Holla, holla, holla. Keep looking at the. Holla, 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 holla. Holla, 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 holla.